Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man proudly presents, you know what it is, another episode of Collectors Lounge International. So glad to have everyone here, everybody who was actually peeking through. It is going to be such an amazing episode, an amazing show. We wanted to actually do a special show today. Again, we're in the thick of things. It's the fall season. You know, we're getting ourselves kind of prepped and ready for what's to come. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, from different companies, a lot of announcements, you know, just things out there from people who, you know, are excited to kind of introduce their products. We got, you know, people out there such as myself who are collectors that are kind of wondering what's going on in this space. You know, we're happy about what's to come. We're happy about, you know, we're unhappy about our pockets and our pocketbooks, but we are happy about the product and basically what we are seeing in this space. Now you have your 1/6 scale collectors, you have your statue collectors, and you have, you know, your collectors or your companies who specialize in premium product as far as, you know, like premium figures, 1/6 scale figures. But there is only one company that comes to mind when we talk about diorama pieces, we talk about diorama vehicles, we talking about excellence and full transparency, where they have conversations with us and ask for our input to make things better. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. You can't. I mean, when you want full transparency, when you want a company that actually delivers on that transparency, and you get a nice package and a nice display, come on, man. You already know what it is and what it is all about. So definitely, I see a lot of people who are actually scooting through here right now, and they're excited about it just as much as I am. But I mean, without further ado, before I address the chat, we got to bring the man, the myth, and the legend. Yes, he is a legend and an icon in the business of the diorama business. My man, the one and only Joost, is in the building. What is going on, bro? How you doing?
How can I be bad with an introduction like that? I'm doing very good. Thank you very much.
Bro, come on, man. You are killing it in this game right now, especially when it comes to these pieces, bro. I mean, it's high end, but the attention to detail to these pieces is bar none the best out there, man. And you have to be sitting comfortably knowing that your company is delivering such quality, man.
Well, yeah, I'm happy in the fact that with the community feedback on all we do, we just know that this has been looked at by hundreds or sometimes thousands of people, and everything that we can squeeze out of that budget has been squeezed out. Sometimes a little bit extra, a little over budget, but hey, considering the 1989 Batmobile by both the Warner Brothers experts and an external expert that I talked to said this is by far the most accurate and detailed model I've ever seen of the 1989 Batmobile in any scale. Well, probably not compared to the one-to-one builds that are six figures, but you know, so it's
look at that.
Yes.
Bro, look at that.
And
look
the cool thing
is, bro.
It is the first. I mean, because I hadn't expected this kind of support, especially after Hot Toys announced theirs. But we're breaking records, man, and we're getting to that part now that we can over deliver, right? So we're talking extra features already, right? So I mean, the first thing to add was a couple of months ago was the light, smoke, and sound on a remote. But now we're talking the first die-cast pieces that we can add to that, you know, leather seats. This is going to be this is going to be epic, I think.
Bro, I know. We're talking about basically such a film as the 89 as 89 Batman itself, Keaton, and then an iconic vehicle such as this one. I mean, this basically broke the mold in live action for live action Batmobile vehicles. I mean, I was a bit sad watching the Flash film and us
Hmm.
getting an iteration of it, but not really seeing it on the road. We didn't
Right.
see it in action. So I was like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? You can't just have something like this, in your collection, but we don't basically get a chance to see it. But yo, this right here is so iconic, and your
Yeah.
detail on this and the quality that you're giving to it. For us as collectors, it's definitely such an exciting time. We're going to dive into that in just a few seconds. What I want to do basically is first up, we have a man in here. We got another individual in here. He's my guy. I call him. He's the Bully McGuire of the collecting community. I'm just joking. Nah, it is my man, the one and only 1 6 figure focus is in the building with us. What's going on, bro?
I'm in here 2 minutes and I'm getting called a bully already. Oh my god. Oh my god. My god. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, like, I'm not a Raimiverse fan, but the third one make me laugh, man. It makes me laugh. Like,
Yeah, it does. It does, man. What's going on with you, bro?
Joost, how are you, Shane?
Very good, thank you. And how are you? With your very cool microphone, I might add.
Right?
Oh yeah. I like shiny things. What can I say? I have ogled over that your 1989 Batwings more times than than is healthy. I had looked at this. I had the finger hovering over the pre-order button a lot of times, and because like a lot of people that particular movie and that particular vehicle, it does connect back to your childhood. It means a lot to you. But I came to the conclusion that I just have nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
So and I think something like that needs to be displayed and properly and everything. But I was looking at the payment plans and I was like, I like that option. This could be doable. But
yeah, bro.
logic kicked in, and I have to admire another people's collection. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well
thank
done.
you.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
I know what you're talking about with space, man. We just got a new location that finally has a room that I can call and I claimed as the showroom. And that together with my slot finally coming up for module cases is finally for myself to have room to display my own stuff. And I must say I recently bought back some of my old stuff. So
cool.
I know what you're saying, and it's going to take it takes a lot of space to display
space,
this all.
It's the enemy of the collector. We always talk about space and money, but realistically you're only ever about 2 weeks away from a paycheck, or you know what I mean. It's kind of like, but your space is, unless you move somewhere else, you've got a fixed amount of space. That I think Marco from 1 6 Fix said something. He said something that resonated with me. He said, you can buy anything, but you just can't buy everything. So it's always stood with me. But nice to meet you, and I am a fan of your work.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Definitely, man. So glad to have both of you guys here with us. I'm going to go ahead. Oops, we got another person now. Joost, the cat that I'm about to bring in right now, he definitely needs no introduction, but I will tell you that if you're a fan of Barry White, if you're a fan of anybody who has one of the deepest voices out there, this guy right here, probably, which is just waking up right now, who is also a fan of your work, needs no introduction. This is my boy Calvin. Calvin is over there at the OxCon right now. How you doing, bro?
Good morning, fellas. Luckily, I've been able to speak. I'm in, I believe, what feels like a frat house this weekend. So I got YouTubers and collectors running around. So if it gets loud at one point or another, I'll try and keep myself muted. But my brothers, good morning. Good to see you guys. Joost, been a fan for years. My wife hates you because my room is full of your stuff. So let's get this conversation going.
Nice to meet you, Calvin.
Definitely, man. All right, before we get in here, let me address the chat real quick and see who we have in here with us. We got Empire Strikes again. Thank you so much, man. The Empire Strikes. Louis Labitz. We got Tyree in the building. We got Mark Lee in the building. He said, smash that like. Definitely make sure you smash that like on the way in. We got Latoya T. My baby is in here. Thank you for being here as always, baby. We got 6 Scale Padawan in the building. Malika Mabane. Larry Walker's in the building. Windman 42. We got Kay Carter's in the building. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, man? Who else do we have in here? Damon Zapp, Mark Lee, Loco Lou is in the building. Thank you for being here. He said, will Jazzinc give us a Rhino from Spider-Man PS4 video game? I hope so. Man, I don't know about that, bro. We have to talk about that. We got William Owens in here. Thank you for being here. Jazzinc Diorama never disappoints on their product. Always top notch. Definitely they are, man, as always. We got, let me see here, FBJ. He says, I cannot wait for this Batmobile. It's coming home. Yes, it is, bro. You already know it's going to be a lot of happy campers when that drops. Marco Polo is in the building. CM Brock is in the building with us as well. Derek Sizemore is here with us. Who else do we have? Ren's Talent Tino. I have to basically say a special condolences in a sense to Ren's, who his one of his pieces of work, his Michael Jackson portrait that he painted and constructed got damaged, and he is so disappointed about that. But I know he's going to make another one and come back strong. Definitely. We got let me see here, Damon Zapp is in the building. He said eye candy when looking at that Batmobile. Definitely. Let's see here, Brian Thorne, Larry Walker. Who else do we got in here? Amir is in the building. Thank you for being here. Doguito is here with us. Blitz 0065 is here with us as well. My man Doctrinator is in the building. Thank you for being here, bro. Let's see who else we have here. Thalia Myers here. Pure Stewart is in here with us. Mary Sullivan is here with us. Thank you for being here as always. Peyton 23 and Palal 89 is in here. Thank you for being here, man. So we got some incredible individuals. Before we dive in again, I just have to let everybody know we are still full-fledged ahead with the Halloween initiative. All proceeds, super chats, everything that we actually receive goes towards making sure that kids have costumes for the holiday. We are partnered with Stilton Elementary as well as the Salvation Army to make sure that this is accomplished. Again, all proceeds, everything that we receive goes such a great cause. I just wanted to put out there, just let you know. And we thank you for your continued support. Yeah, man. We got Hack Enterprise in here as well. We got a $1.99 super chat giveaway. Jen Urso. That's never going to happen. Jen Urso is never leaving my collection. I don't know why you keep saying that, but that's not going to happen. Stop it. Yeah, but definitely, man, we got a lot going on here. So, Joost, I mean, talking about this, man, like talking about the excitement for this Batmobile and pretty much everything that you have that just, you know, pretty much filtering down. It's like when you think back to earlier days of you starting this journey and having this idea of this is what you want to tackle, flash forwarding to where we are right now. Did you ever think that you would receive such a response off of the pieces that you're delivering?
No, that would have been quite a crazy dream, right? I mean, right now, especially with our new offices, we got offices, man. Like 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I was still working from my garage. And I drive to work now. My wife works with me. My dad works with me. We see each other every day, and we look at each other and we look at the facility and we're like, this is crazy, right? Yeah, it's crazy. So no, I did not see that coming. And
you didn't see this like just the overwhelming response of what you've accomplished, you know, with this company. And I'm not going to say in like a short time, because I mean, you've been at work at this, you know, for a while behind the scenes. But to us, it would be assumed by a lot of people who are seeing it now that, oh no, this is just, no, you've worked hard to get to this particular point, and everything that you have delivered, you know. And I think that what speaks more so to what it is that you've been able to accomplish is just, again, like I said at the top of the show, transparency. Is the simple fact that you are, as a company, you are getting the fans and those who are supporting the company involved on this journey as far as, you know, getting the input on how things you think could be improved. And I like that. And I think the fans definitely appreciate that, man.
Yeah. And right back at you. I mean, without the fans' feedback, it was no way I could have learned so much. Take the 1989. I want to do a shout out to like Brian Thone, who's here with us. He's building the one-to-one Batmobile right now, as well as a kit, I thought. With input from people like that, who told me about like the tiniest panels inside, the tiniest logo on the panels inside the cockpit of the 1989, I would never have known. There's just not that kind of information out there unless you've seen that thing in person, like Brian has. So I just don't understand why other companies don't do it. It's just so much easier and better for it.
Bro, like for me, you know, again, I think it's basically, and we get into the discussion where it's quantity over quality with some companies, you know, and it's not to basically, again, bag anybody out, but I think it's quantity over quality, to whereas they put out product based on what they think will sell, but without really thinking about the kinks or things that wouldn't be ironed out, or just some of the concerns that, you know, a lot of customers would have. And I'm gonna pass this because this, for instance, I mean, I know with Shane, his attention to detail is always there. You know what I mean? Like Shane, if he'll see certain things, like he critiques certain things, but it's like his opinion is, I hate to give him this much credit, but always on point, punk. But besides that, but besides that, I mean, I know like that feedback is always what's important. Shane, what do you feel about like this, you know, full transparency with, you know, having the ability to really converse with companies and get, you know, the feedback, honest feedback, and you see the change happening?
First of all, I'm going to take this opportunity to take the piss out of myself. Now, if you're watching and you don't know what that means make fun of myself. That's what we say in Ireland here. With the Rooted in Art 2-pack, it took me a while before I realized I got 2 copies of the same head sculpt. So, like, it must have been a tiring day. I don't always get it on point. Yeah, look, I am... you know, full disclosure, Joost, I went with the Hot Toys on this one. Although I do think that your one will be more accurate. And price was a consideration, obviously, because I'm a budget collector, but I appreciate that. I think when you put them side by side, when all's said and done, I do think your one's going to be more accurate, and I do think your one is going to be better. Again, that's just my opinion. I really like that kind of process you go through, and that has to be frustrating, I'd imagine, you know, when you put something out and you're kind of gathering data from like sources and the community and stuff like that. But that must be frustrating from time to time to kind of have that, you know, feedback from people, and kind of you can't really keep everyone happy. Would that make sense? Or yeah, it's very hard to get everything perfect. But would it be right in saying that this one on the screen, your one, is going to be somewhere close to 110 centimeters in length?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and I believe the Hot Toys one is a meter. And yes, I think it's one of the options for me is I have a space which is approximately about a meter. So that was unfortunately one of the things I had to do. I had to go, I can't actually fit a bigger one, but I do appreciate that. Your process, how do you start something like this? Like you say, like say the 1989 Batmobile or the 1989 Batwing. Where do you start? Where do you get the data from that tells you the true scale in 6 scale is 110, or the height should be so and so, or the width should be so and so? Or where do you get that information from?
Well, that's an iterative process. So I do my own. I like to do my own research. No, but no. So,
that's nearly a meme, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But yeah, so I start with my own research, and I pick an avenue of what I think is close, and it's kind of like shaking the trees and seeing what comes up. And invariably, through all the things I post and interviews like this, then people find me. So in the case of the 1989, somebody found me who bought several, and I repeat, several of the screen-used Batmobiles. And he FaceTimed me in his garage where they were all lined up. And in this case...
Do you mean one-to-one?
Yes, the actual one-to-one units.
So he's a millionaire then.
Well, okay. I would expect so, because, And so we just measured. I just asked him for all kinds of. I made drawings from my model, and I put in the lines from here to here, and I want to manage from here to here. So, and that's basically how we got the measurements right. And then people like I said, Brian Thone, William Babington, Andrea Sercha. There's a couple of other guys who really helped me out with all the details and all that sort of thing. And basically his measurements confirmed what I think if you Google, I think it was on one of the kits that you could buy of the 1989, it did confirm the original size, which if you then put it into 6 scale, would mean almost 110 centimeters. So I'm pretty sure.
Could I ask you a question? Is your background in engineering or?
Well, I have a bit of a strange background, so I have both. I have an engineering degree and I have a business degree. So
Right, okay.
I did my
That's
bachelor's.
Perfect for this company then.
Yeah. And then I have my wife has an MBA in IT and finance. So together, we cover pretty much everything, right? So So that's.
And there's just like I remember when I was, weighing up the pros and cons of Hot Toys and Jazzinc and stuff like I think they're both going to be great, but I mean from a collector's point of view with budget and space and stuff, we all have to make the tough calls and stuff like that. And when I was doing the research, just curious about what was the actual length on the car. And then I got the length in, meters or feet or whatever it was, and then I divided by 6. Is it that simple when you're scaling things down? Like as in the length is supposed to be X meters. If I divide by 6, it's the true scale should be 110. Like, is it that simple, or is there more complicated maths to it, or
no,
to convert them down?
It is basically that simple. The only thing you have to be really careful of is how did they measure it. I mean, if you look, I don't know, Lael, if there's a picture on where you see it dead on from the side, but there are quite a few areas that you could start measuring from for both the front and the back, right? So it's hard to say exactly, and so that you have to do the confirmation, and this is why it was great. Now, if you look at the front, if you look at that top lip on the hood, that is actually slightly forward from the bottom of the car, and same goes for the top of the wing, the fin on the end. That's slightly longer. So did they measure? It's always a question of how did they measure, which is why I gave my guy the question with all these sub measurements. Because if you look at the Hot Toys one, it's not that it's entirely scaled too long or too small, but it's almost like they took off like a couple of centimeters from the hood. So it's
right.
And
so the snout doesn't look as long as it should be. That's the front.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
So it might be a bit of both, where the snout and the hood is too short, and they underscaled it slightly, which they've also done for some other things in the past. So that might also be because you have to remember that if you're making these things, your price goes up exponentially when you scale things up, especially with the molds of this kind of size, because you're working in 3 dimensions, right? And there are increasingly less and less suppliers that have the machinery to deal with it, because we're talking about man-sized molds in the end with these sort of things. So it might also be, and again, I'm guessing here, it might be a budget decision to just take a little bit off here and there to work to a certain price point, because their price point is incredibly low. I mean, most of that is down to the massive volume. I mean, well into the 5-figure runs, which is where you get massive quantities of scale. And that's when your price drops dramatically.
And do you know, for your 1989, thanks for answering all the questions. For your 1989 Batmobile, do you have a fixed number, or is it like you put out a batch and you're like, okay, that went well, there's more demand, you can put out another batch, or
No, not that. No. So the way we work now is, in the past I've been burned by making a few extra on as a sort of gamble. I don't know what you would call that, because the problem is if right now, if I want to play it safe, and I do because I don't want to be burned again, that means as soon as the prototype is done, this is the way we've worked for the last couple of projects, a couple of products, is we just close the pre-orders as soon as we commit to a production number, right? Mm-hmm. Because that decides what kind of materials and what kind of metals we use for the molds, how hardened they are going to be, etc. But the problem is then you're closing pre-orders before the final product has shipped. Now, people have known us long enough to know that we're good for our word, and we tend to over-deliver. But still, the reality is that most people really want it as soon as they see it in hand. But by definition, the way we work now, you can't. You have to pre-order and trust. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see the crazy secondary market prices. I've warned in another interview I did recently, for this one, I think that date of pre-order closing is going to come up somewhere in October or early November. Mm-hmm. And then there's only the wait list. Yeah, that's basically how it is. I don't want to do reissues.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
It's like maintaining a certain level of exclusivity. When you get certain pieces, that's what you want. Reissues, then you're kind of, have to worry about the simple fact that if it's sold the first time, will it have that same impact the second time? Will you basically sit on stock, that you've, developed, thinking, you don't want to feel as though it's going to get that same response or that same wow factor. But in the flip side of it, you might actually attract those who, we couldn't get it the first time. Oh, now we can get it this time type of situation. But the reissues, it is, in a sense, it can basically become a plague. So I definitely get that. Calvin, did you have any questions or because I know with you having pretty much, again, you got the bet. All right, okay, sorry. Let's go down the list here, Calvin. You have the Justice Mobile, right? Two Justice Mobiles.
My man.
Two Justice Mobiles.
The bat signal, well, I know he didn't call it the Vulture, but the Vulture figure. Yeah. I've got the 95 and the BBS computer. Those are paid off. Currently working on 89 Batmobile and Batwing.
Yeah, definitely. So you being now what is considered a Jazzinc connoisseur, where are you sitting? Definitely with the product, definitely with the transparency, but just the quality, because you have everything there, to prove. I have the Vulture. By far top tier. That one, you don't need anything else. To be quite honest, you don't. I have the Ray Snowspeeder. Come on, that just speaks volumes itself. I have the 89 Batmobile coming. Again, you have this stuff in hand as well. Your take on what you're seeing, the quality, and what's to come. Where are you at, bro?
Honestly, I just want to give gratitude. I want to say thank you. When I started this journey, I didn't expect to have these options, especially because there were no vehicles when I got into it. I have a Lego 89 representation in my collection at the moment, because I just never thought I was going to be, especially knowing that it was available. And when I looked at the prices of what the second market was going to ask for, I'm like, I'm not paying that. So to know that these options are good, and I'm getting them new, and I know that the attention to detail and the love behind, and the passion that goes into it, that's what I appreciate. So if it takes a year or, a little extra longer, one, I'm not minding, because I really don't want to pay for the shipping until it gets here. So I don't mind the extra distance on that. But, I just appreciate what you and your family put into these products and projects. And not to mention that you guys actually give us the regular feedback. Whenever I see your YouTube notification pop up, I'm jumping up to hit play to be able to see where we are, what step of the process we're on now, and what potentially, feedback we get for maybe what's coming after that. So that's where I'm at. I just want to say thank you and appreciate it. And the fact that I'm out of town, I've got all these knuckleheads running around this morning right now. Because I was looking at it. And when I figured out that you were going to be on this, I was like, damn, I'm out of town. Well, shit, I guess I got to find a setup and get there. So I've got my laptop sitting here. I'm on my phone because I forgot my headphones, so that's why I'm on my Bluetooth little earbuds here. But made it work. So, but again, thank you. And the other questions I had, Shane already hit them. So I was going to ask about the background and all that stuff. Shane knocked those on the head already. So cheers to you, sir.
So I have a question, Joost. Like,
Sure.
with again, because you're doing this solely with, a lot of this with your family. You're doing this with your wife, your dad. I mean, that right there in its own has to feel like really good because the trust is there. You have the chemistry with your family, people that you know, and that you've gone through this journey together. Like that right there has to feel like extremely incredible.
Yeah. And just because we've all worked for plenty of bosses in our lives, to just be able to write our own ticket and decide the way we want to run the company, and that is nice. Everybody knows what we're working for, and there's no strategy sessions necessary or like I don't know if that's the same over there, but you have these anything to keep the people motivated, right? With kind of sales pushes and stuff like that. We don't. I got so sick of that, right? And so now just to do something you love and to get cool messages every day, and like what people like Calvin who just they have supported us for such a long time, and I really appreciate that. And it's personal now in a very good way for us. So that is nice. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely. Now, I mean, this right here, bro, like now mind you, I know that if I go down this particular road that I'll get trapped. So I feel like, Calvin, you get this reference. I feel like Pookie from New Jack City, bro. It's like I got to stay away from it, but it's calling me, bro. It's calling me, bro. This 1966 diecast bat cycle,
bro. Your brain. I need it.
Bro, like I'm like, I can't do it. I was like, cause then I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna have to, dip into my or actually dip into the Shane 16 Focus Fund to try to see if I can, get a credit card from him and, get like the 89 both Robin and
I'm not allowed any more credit cards. There's a picture of me in the bank.
Yeah, bro, but when I see this, I'm like, yo, like this right here is what it's all about. No company is doing this, bro. No other company is doing this on that magnitude. Even when I look at and Calvin, you being straight up a motorcycle just connoisseur, bro, and seeing something like this in 1/6 scale form, the tread on the wheels itself, the detail, the quality on the vehicles, man, bro, this is incredible. Like it's hard to stay. Are you getting this, Calvin?
I had to cut off something somewhere. So 66 and 22 is where I cut off. 89 and 95 are my focuses right now. But this looks amazing.
It does. And I know
Mario's on the line for this.
Yeah. I think Mario's online to basically get something like this. But what went into the inspiration of you going into this line, Joost, as far as the going from like the 89, the 66, definitely, because again, with the 66 Batmobile, you knocked that out the park. And then actually moving into this particular vehicle right here, man, like what was the inspiration behind it, bro?
Well, it's the community. So we knew the 66 was a hit, and we kept being asked for more from the 66 crowd. And if it were up to them, we would have made the helicopter and the Bat Cave and the Batgirl bike and this and the Bat boat. So I did what I always do. We have our closed Facebook group. I put it to a vote. I made a short list of 4 things.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the Bat boat based on the many messages I got, but it was this one. And then the cool thing was getting to work with Burt Ward on this. That is insane, right? I'd studied the Batmobile, the 66 stuff so much in the last few years. I kept seeing all the clips, and now I'm working with the man himself. Actually, last week I sent him the first batch of signature plates for him to sign on this one. So, yeah, that is insane.
Bro, like that, it is. Like, it's super insane, like, knowing that you had a chance to work with someone as iconic. And then I'm pretty sure when he saw it, there was like a high level of appreciation for, what you're doing, and introducing this product. We got Welbs Love 1122. He said Joost is our Doc Brown. He grabs everything we love from our past and brings it back to the future with us, bro. That's probably one of the dopest analogies I've heard in a long
That's a good
time.
one.
That is definitely a good one, man. But like this piece, I look at it and I'm like, oh man, like how staying away from it and trying to keep my eyes away from it is just like,
so this changed that, right? So this was the initial plan. Talk about over-delivering. People who pre-ordered it thought they were getting numbered plates with me and my dad's signature.
Yeah.
And then we got Burt Ward involved. So now we've updated the design, so it's just Burt Ward that's going to be signing the plate. And it's fun that Blaze in Asian says Burt Ward is such a nice guy. He's a big dog enthusiast. Actually, all the proceeds that he's being paid by us to sign those plates are going to his charity. So that's another cool thing.
Wow.
Same as with the other signature thing for the Zack Snyder, where everything is going for the American Fund for Suicide Prevention. For everybody who supports the Diecast Bat Cycle is supporting Burt Ward's charity, dog charity.
Yeah, definitely, man. When it's going towards such an amazing cause, it just bodes well. It speaks well, for where we're at now. And on top of that, you're getting like a phenomenal piece of work. It's just that, like, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, man, I got to go back. if I had to do something like this, I would actually have to go back and get both the 66 Robin and, Batman, and I don't have either one of them, because I was like, going down that line and backtracking becomes an expensive process.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this right here is so phenomenal, bro. Like, it is. And just the detail, the attention of where you actually go with this is strictly phenomenal. And I know a lot of people are, interested in it, have no qualms with getting the Batmobile, the 66 Batmobile, and this. I know Robert Meyer Burnett, he has the 66 Batmobile, and he said he already placed this on pre-order. He was like, yeah, it was a no-brainer for him, because again, you are fulfilling a level of nostalgia for those. When that 89 dropped, it was just like, I'm right there. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. I'm just all on board. But Joost, you made a shocking announcement. Oh, I think we got one other person coming in here. My man Dan. As soon as I see him come up, here we go. We got my man Dan in the building. Now, here's the thing.
And now it's a party.
Joost, I gotta preference it this way. We call him cheating ass Dan. It's not just Dan, it's CAD Dan, CAD, cheating ass Dan. And reason why I say that is because he is able to basically take not only just maybe your work or anybody's work, whether it's a Hot Toys figure, whether it's a statue, he's able to basically take the piece and create magic. But the kicker is, he don't tell you shit. He doesn't let anybody know how he's done it. And I think that's cheating. There's no transparency. We talk about transparency, Joost. There's no transparency with Dan. He won't tell you how he does nothing. He just does it and puts it out there. So I think that's cheating, to us as connoisseurs. But Dan, what's going on with you, bro?
What's up, man? I actually do try to tell people. It's up to you.
No, you don't.
Listen. But nah, man. Happy to be here. Woke up, got my coffee. I got this foot cup just for you, Leo.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, bro.
But yeah, man. Joost, your work's amazing. I have yet to get a piece, but my YouTube partner has a bunch of your stuff. He has the 112 Justice Mobile. I think is so badass. He has your bat signal, and I'm very jealous of all the shit that he has from you. So
thanks, man. Nice to meet you, Dan.
Definitely, nice Dan. So glad to have you here with us, bro. Now, Joost, you are stepping not only just in the past, in the present, but even the future of the stuff that you're doing right now, bro, is always in question. And I have to talk about, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about how excited I was to find out that you were actually doing the Jedi Starfighter, bro, that you're basically tapping into that realm. That was exciting. Consider the simple fact that, we got companies that teased the N1 Starfighter that never came out. Mario, yeah, I know, man. You don't have to keep, throwing that. You said it wasn't going to happen. It didn't happen. But we know when you speak the gospel and you're basically speaking something into existence, then it's going to happen. Tell us the process. What made you consider the Jedi Starfighter? What made you go down that lane? And what was the inspiration for it, man?
Honestly, I saw it at SDCC, and I thought that is cool. And then a lot of people talked to me about it, and I said the same thing I'm saying now, because this was a couple of years ago. The same thing I'm saying about the N1. Collectors are going to be getting the N1. Either Hot Toys is going to make it, or if they don't, then that's one of my next projects. So, and I said the same for the Jedi Starfighter. I just wanted it. I thought it was cool. It's a manageable size, even though when I do say this, it is, what is it, close to 3 feet or over 3 feet with the 91 centimeters in length. So like snow speeder size, right? So still a big unit.
Yeah. But
it's doable, and I think it's iconic, and especially with that Anakin figure and that Kenobi figure in there. The only thing I'm really bummed about is that I was too late. Even though I clicked the button when I saw it, when that artisan Anakin came up.
Yeah, bro. That's a whole discussion in its own. That was just, oh man, feelings about that were hurt for a lot of people.
You've triggered him now, Joost. So this is not good.
Bro, like that space, yeah.
Can I ask a quick question about this?
Yeah,
sorry,
sure.
Joost, you don't have to answer this. This might be a bit cheeky, but it's coming from a pure curiosity. Mm-hmm. You have the license for Warner Brothers. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So you probably know what question is coming now. How does it work? Say, do you have the license for Star Wars?
No.
How does it work then? Are you not worried that you get a Disney letter or Lucasfilm letter, or is that not a concern? Or
no, ever since the cockpit, they've seen it and they didn't object. We have a couple of fans there, and the numbers for the Star Wars stuff is very, very low. And there's quite a lot of companies that do it like that. You'll get MYC Sculptures, and you got a whole bunch of other companies. On the one hand, I do want to get the license, but if I look at the potential for Star Wars, especially in the vehicles, I don't know if it's too small for a license. So
and I suppose the vehicles they're quite big, aren't they, as well? Whereas a Batmobile, or say a Ray Speeder, a regular collector could probably swing that, but I suppose the Snow Speeder and like we spoke about earlier on, the Batman 89, they're beautiful, but it's a different. It's a different level, isn't it? Of collector, yeah. I think maybe with more space, whatever. I was just wondering how that actually works. So, is it the type of thing like that? The standard is good, so they don't object, or
I don't know. All I know is that formally they don't object, and I have a couple of contacts, and there are some possible conversations going, but then I would have to think about how I would scale it up to at least the Warner Brothers side of the business, which again, it is very, very small for any other company would scoff at that. That's why in this space, I'm the only one doing this, right? So yeah, so as long as we don't do the numbers we do on the Batman stuff, which is still incredibly low, by the way, it's just, this is fan-made stuff, really. It's the custom shop stuff that we do.
Yeah, because you did a detail displays as well, is the Tantive for the DTOF that it fits into the DTOF?
Yeah, we used to do that, but with ever since 2020, the prices for materials have gone up to such a crazy extent that we could never even make it for the sales price, let alone.
Yeah, I got you. Because that was another one that was like the finger was on the pre-order button, or right, but I think that was I think they were sold out by the time I kind of realized.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks for answering the question. I appreciate it.
Sure.
And
sure.
Which brings up an interesting question to me is the simple fact that, okay, they're seeing the quality of work and the quality of detail that you put into pieces like this. So they're witnessing that.
Yeah,
so it would, again, for someone, and you have fans basically on that line, because you're giving us a complete scale, 1/6 scale version of this piece, with the detail, with the quality, with some companies, again, we're talking about marketing, we're talking about, product out there, licensing, when that discussion happens, or when they see that, it shouldn't make those discussions hard at all. You would think, because they're seeing quality now. Also, there's opportunity that might have been there with other companies that have been missed, that they're just not doing, that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I think about that, it's like, okay, when it comes to like licensing and getting these licensed to release this product, is it one of those situations whereas they, sort of, with companies, they're like, well, look, if we gave you the keys to the kingdom and we'll give you an opportunity to do it and you're not doing it, but yet another company comes along and they're doing it and they're perfecting it well. Like, why should we not give them the opportunities? Is that ever a consideration?
Yeah, especially for now that with Warner Brothers, we're moving on to the next level. They wanted to increase the scope of what we're doing with the contracts, and basically, as long as you're not competing in the space where, I don't know, a Mattel or somebody is doing, and they've got a multi-million-dollar contract where they request exclusivity for that area, then they are free to do that, because they are missing out. And that's also the conversation we're having with Warner Brothers. I mean, you're seeing all these unlicensed figures come out because there is a big gap there between what the official licensed companies are offering and what the customer wants. And you know what? I've been talking with them for a year to close that gap and be that company that makes the official stuff that is too low edition and too small beans for the bigger companies. But that would be exactly where we shine, right? To do the stuff that other people aren't doing. So yeah.
And which definitely gives you like the opportunity to capitalize in that space. And now with this, now before I actually ask my question, I'm actually looking out the chat to see if anybody out there, again, everybody out there in the chat, if you have questions, definitely you can answer. Let me see here, or ask them. That is, we have S-Beam. Is a partial R2 unit going to be included with these? Will they be removable, or are you not sure yet?
All right. So the term that's been thrown around in the group is the R2 stump, which is basically everything except the head. And I think that's a good idea. So right now, I'm going to say a careful yes to the first part of the question. A partial R2 unit should be included, and we're still looking into the finer details because you've got so many Hot Toys versions, and then there's a Sideshow version. So that is something we have to look into. And then if it's removable, I think so. That should not be too hard to make removable, because you want to see those panel gaps anyway. Where if the R2 stump was like an integral part of the wing, that would just look weird. So both for looks and practicality, I would say yes, make the stump removable. So right now, that's the tack that we're on. And again, this is another great example of a community feedback, because I was like, ooh, I'm not going to touch any characters. That is dangerous territory, right? but you have to have an R2 unit in there. And then somebody in the community said, well, the head comes off very easily on, I think, both the Sideshow and the Hot Toys version. And then we moved on to, well, we need the stump. So that's where the R2 stump was born. And then if people ask me, will they be removable? I think, yeah, from a practical, I'm thinking with my engineering cap on now, practically that makes most sense. So yes, I'm going to say a careful, because we're still in early stage of development, everybody, but a careful yes to the both of those.
Okay. And with that, and before I actually get into one of the other questions that, anyone else actually has out there, with that, is it also a situation where, when you actually do create the functionality, like, again, we're talking about the stump or the, pretty much the astromech droids head rotation, would it come with the LED like light up feature for that droid? Would it be something that you were looking to doing as well?
Well, the people in the group said that the batteries for the light up features of the astromech head are in the head, so I don't think we would need to do that. Okay. And the body, as you can see, is completely under the surface of the wing. Yeah. So I don't think that's necessary. Yeah,
I think the only thing is with of course Anakin or Obi-Wan Starfighter. With R5, they haven't released one yet. Like, they haven't released an R5, so it definitely is an opportunity for you in that space to have it and not have to worry about because you'll have a one up in that actual area. But I mean, man, like the detail on this, I'm anxious to see it because it's just like, again, from someone who is a Star Wars fan. Who thought that we would never, I mean, years ago, like a couple years back, Hot Toys teased a Jedi Starfighter. Am I correct? They did. Yeah. They teased it.
Quite a few years ago now.
A few years ago, yeah. But it was never an approach. We always say that whenever they release something, it ends up in purgatory. And that's exactly what happened. It ended up in purgatory. It wasn't something that, once it was released, it gained traction or whatever. A lot of people wanted it. But I think, for them, it always boils down to like production, even with, the Naboo Starfighter, the M1 Starfighter. Again, it looked like we were going to get it, but then it just kind of went silent. So I don't know where that pretty much exists. But hearing, you say that, you're definitely in that space of the conversation to actually have that done. It means a lot. And I'm pretty sure it does. Now, with this, are you going to release both versions, both color iterations, both Anakin and Obi-Wan's, or are you just focused on one particular one?
No. Again, we put this to a poll in the group because apparently there were actually 2 or 3 other color variations of this one besides these 2. So I put it to a vote how many people would support the other colors. That was way too little to entertain. So apparently there's also a blue and a gray one. No, a blue and a green one. And then there's a Vader gray one I've seen pictures of. But the vast majority voted for the yellow one. And then I think we have enough of the red one to say that we'll probably do both. But I've been talking to somebody, Barry Murray McRae, who really studied this thing and had some very cool insights and very cool pictures. I think they're in the folder where he sent me the picture where you see Anakin's feet actually dangling out of the cockpit because what's his name again?
Which one?
The actor.
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. Right. Yeah, he was too tall to sit comfortably inside the cockpit, and the director didn't like to see his knees around his ears for the shot, so they just took out the front glass, and his feet are dangling outside. So long story short, we have to do some modifications and some compromise. So we have to move the seat back further because we do want to have that figure fit inside, of course. And it wouldn't look cool to have the front glass out and have the feet dangling out. That'd just be a shame. So as for both the colors, there are slight differences, I'm told by Barry, in the wingtips and in the pillow behind the head between two versions. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that, because making separate molds for the two versions, that might be too much. So yeah, we're definitely going to do the two paint jobs. How much of the differences in mold, and they're going to be subtle, are actually going to carry over between the two versions, I can't be sure yet.
Got you. And this is, like I said, I'm just looking at I open up the folder with pretty much the detail here. Wow. Like this, this right here is going to be a trip, man. Like definitely, especially for people out there who are looking forward to this, man, and have all the right. I mean, is this going to be like, I mean, again, coming off of the snow speeder, going into this, because you have, a bit more, movement in, just the panel flaps for the wings itself. Is it going to be is it going to pose a bit more a level of difficulty when coming up with the concept for you guys?
Yeah. So we're going to do the same things we've done with the snow speeder and the Batwing. So we're going to make them wall mountable, and we're going to include the little acrylic legs so that you can pose it in like a bit of a banking angle if you don't want to wall mount it. But then again, the flaps, the R2 stump, and that sort of thing, and maybe the different molds are going to be a bit trickier. But still, I project, I hope, somewhere around that same price point as the snow speeder, because it's the same size, although slightly more complex with the moving parts. So, yeah.
I'm definitely. Any question from you guys out there on the panel?
Nah.
I'm finding my lane with this one. I think the Batwing is going to take enough of my space.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know that scene in Jaws where they're like, we're going to need a bigger boat? That's what I feel about my house, man. I'm there with Mark Lee kind of going, because like no one, like, I know it was teased, the N1 was teased, this was teased, Hot Toys teased a lot of stuff, but no one's making this. Like, no one's making this. So it's great that people are making it, for the people, the collectors that do have the space and the income.
Definitely.
And I really do hope for all the support, because the only thing that's kind of scary is this is the first time we're moving away from the original trilogy. This is the first one from the prequel trilogy, so I did see a couple of comments roll by in my group where they say, I do only original trilogy. This is what I'm talking about.
That's pretty funny.
Because he's super tall, like straight up. Like you would think that they would build it around it, but now I get it.
Nope.
That's too funny, bro. But I think you will have some individuals out there who are. There's a lot of people out there that are basically, when they think of Revenge of the Sith, this was the defining film for them out of the three prequel films.
Absolutely. Same for me.
You know what I mean? So this was the one that people loved the most because it was the most impactful. It was a transition period at that time. So again, I think that you're going to have a wild response, on this, the same that you actually got for the snow speeder. Like, you're going to have people out there that are going to definitely dig this, because it is coming from something that, there was a gained interest in. And then we know that the prequels now, are getting more respect than what they've gotten in the past. Especially with Hayden Christensen's return in the Ahsoka film or the Ahsoka series, basically how he's being received, how well, I mean, Calvin, when we were at Star Wars Celebration in London, everybody lost their mind over this dude. Like, it was, the lines were just long out the door. People loved.
Yeah, I waited for him for like 7 hours before I had to finally give up and use the bathroom.
Like, definitely, like, the response is wild for us. So I think that because of that, and you're coming off you're capitalizing on an opportunity, because we are getting that, artisan version of Anakin Skywalker that a lot of people, such as myself, I didn't go for it because, like I said, I knew, I have the original light side version Hot Toys figure, so I'm fine with that. The artisan version, it was again, trying to get in that line to get I knew it was going to be a complicated situation and frustrating for a lot of people. And I think, Calvin, you got your hands on one, right?
What are we talking about? Sorry, these guys are loud. I didn't hear that.
You got your hands on that artisan version of Anakin, right? You were able.
I did. I was able to get one. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So
And
there was a few people
Marco here was able to get one too. So
yeah,
Marco.
Marco.
House
Okay.
got some.
So definitely. So, and with that, there were a lot of people that also missed out on it. But again, it definitely is what it is. But it is an opportunity for now. Like, I mean, just seeing it, you're able to capitalize on that space with this, because now people who are getting that figure or have the figure, they can, get something like this. So definitely, I think you're gonna have a bigger response than what you think, to be quite honest, on this.
I hope so.
I definitely believe you will. Let's see if we got any more questions out there from people. Let me see. Oh yeah, this is definitely a good one here. Are there any updates on Jazzinc figures?
From what I've been told, there's two cool things. So one is there's only three hoops we have to jump through now. So we're really getting close to that point where we can really start actually making the first prototypes and starting to work on the first units. And we're actually going to be visited by a couple of people from Warner Brothers, including the CEO, the director. So, and he's going to come by around October 16th. So I'm expecting some news there too. So it's taken a lot longer than I expected. It's actually taken longer to get the update for the figures into the contract than it took to get licensed in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, and what I thought was very cool is that there was no objection, not even from like Warner Brothers Korea, which I was sure they were going to protect Hot Toys in some way. So it's looking good. And I think from what I heard, we're in the home stretch now. And it's Warner Brothers, so I don't know. But I think in October I might have some news on that. So
with that basically being said, I'm just going to ask this question because I know that this is on the, this right here is at the frontal lobe of Dan's mind right now, because it is with me as well. A company basically dropped the ball on Batman Begins, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like they literally dropped the ball on that Batman Begins figure. Considering the simple fact that you are, I would want to say the company is well versed in being extremely accurate and and close to accurate as you can in attention to detail. If you had the opportunity to drop that figure, if that would be one of the ones that would definitely be in the discussion. Again, when we're talking about these figures, detail is important to you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
No Pigeon Man.
And I'm pretty sure that that's the route that you, because the thing is, what do you, as far as the figures themselves, what is pretty much like high up there as far as what you want or figures that you're definitely interested in?
Yeah, so there's a tricky thing because it's funny that I've been talking about this for a year now since we're trying to get that license, and many of the figures I've mentioned in the early this year have been dropped by the illegal companies, and there's still a couple on the list. There's actually a couple of very obvious ones that have not been done yet, and I'm really looking into doing those. So, but the thing is, I do want the community feedback, because you mentioned the 1966, right? So it's obvious to do some 1966 figures, even though like the Romero Joker is off because the illegal version is just really good. But because I've been working with Burt Ward, I had dreamed of doing both Batman and Robin 1966 and do the Bruce Wayne Dick Grayson figures for that. But I'd have to throw it to the group for the 1966 figures. I think I'm safe to say that Mr. Freeze, even though they did the guy in the slippers. It's probably going to be too hard for them to do the full
accurate
suited up version. So I think that's an obvious choice for us because of with the Vulture, we've done the more complicated stuff. So I'd say Mr. Freeze is a safe bet. I still think Danny DeVito's Penguin is a good one, especially with DeVito now doing a comic book run of them and showing much more interest than they did in the past. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, 2022 Catwoman, and Inspector Gordon, and what's 2022? There's a couple other figures that we could look into. Those are on the list. And then there's a couple I'm just going to keep in my back pocket.
He just said a couple I'm going to keep quiet on. I'm not going to
what would you guys like to see for all of you? So,
Mr. Freeze,
four.
Definitely. Mr. Freeze, that's a one. That would be amazing.
For me, definitely, bro, like, I got to keep going back to the simple fact that, like, that Batman Begins figure. I want to see a better version of that figure because, again, I have it and I do what I can with it because, again, it was just necessary for the collection. But I think it could have definitely have been better, in that space. But I think right now, like anything is up for conversation because, like I said, I'm just excited that you're kind of dipping in that well. Shane, what about you?
Mm-hmm.
I've got actually just two questions. One's kind of fun and one's more like logistical. Making vehicles obviously is a completely different ballgame to making figures. So, like, do you already have like a sculptor lined up or a tailor to line up, and you're just waiting for that the green light so you can just basically gotcha.
Yeah, and we have the supply chain left from the Vulture figure, so we got and we've shown that we can do much more complex than basic figures. And even though the Vulture figure was still a lot easier than your average Batmobile car, but so and that's the beauty of it. I mean, we could do one without impacting the other. So
the second question is a lot more fun. The second question is like, supposing like you, I don't know, like we're guaranteed, okay, you can make any vehicle you want, and you can make 1,000 of them, and they will all sell, and it'll be profitable, and no one will cancel their orders in an ideal world, right? But you get, you know what I mean? Because I appreciate like people cancel and then that sets you back to whatever. But let's say like you have, like you can make one vehicle and they'll all sell, it'll be, no one will cancel, whatever. What vehicle would you make if you could just pick whatever? Is there...
within Batman or
whatever
anything?
Whatever you want. What would you really like to make?
I want to do Kit. Basically, I want to do Kit. I want to do Kit with the Michael Knight figure. Maybe even Devin and Bonnie with it. That is,
bro.
That's the little kid. The little kid inside of me is going,
bro.
And that must be difficult because that's like something that you really want to make, but there must be that balance between your heart and your head. My heart says I really want to make Kit, but my head says, is it relevant? Will people buy it? Like, there's obviously diehard 80s fans out there, but is that kind of a wrestling match sometimes with that?
Yeah. Well, sometimes, and it's mostly in the Star Wars realm for me, because I'm confident that when I get the license, Kit will have enough support that for the little run that we would need to do, I don't worry too much. Maybe I'm overconfident there, but I'm not. It's with the Star Wars stuff that's like the Jedi Starfighter. I think that's honestly much more scary for me because it's the prequels. Right. It's not the original trilogy.
Yeah, I get you.
It's expensive. It's large. Yeah, that one's much more scary for me.
But the flip side of that is as much as like I do fall into that. I'm more of an OT fan, but if you look at the success of Ahsoka, Episode 5 blew people's minds, but that was because people who like the Clone Wars, people who love Anakin, people who love the prequels. So the support for the prequels is definitely there, from what I can see. So I don't anticipate that being a problem, but what do I know? You know.
Yeah. I just look at the polls in the group, and I look at the numbers, and they're lower than normal. So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think that once people see, just the quality that's produced, and a lot will actually change. And again, it's just like, when we talk about, figures and stuff like that, we've been teased by and let down by, companies that are, again, when Hot Toys basically, shows us something, but they don't release it. That's when it just becomes like, okay, come on, like, you've done this, and it's like a cry wolf type of situation where they show you something, but it's like, don't make promises or don't tease us on something that you have no plans on releasing, because then it's an expectation set, that isn't being fulfilled at that particular point. So, but again, we're, talking about a totally different company versus where you are, and how whenever you say something, the word is bond, you basically do release it and deliver on that, Calvin, what about you, man? Where are you at, like, as far as like what you want to see as far as a figure?
First thing I figures, I remember Michelle Pfeiffer got one.
Yeah,
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, definitely a Michelle Pfeiffer. And consider the simple fact that even there's a massive interest in that figure, bro.
Yeah,
like definitely a massive interest in that figure to see. So I think that definitely that's high up on everybody's tier when it comes to what they actually want to see in figure form and stuff like that. So
sorry, you mentioned earlier on, like, you were kind of going through like what figures would you like, but this is out of left field. And Joost, I'd imagine every day of the week someone is telling you to make X, Y, Z or whatever. But like, I'd love like
every day of the
scale.
week,
every day of the week, yeah, exactly. And I appreciate that. Like, it's not that simple, but like, just a Detroit OCP cop car shot to shit, so I could get the RoboCop standing out of that. I think I'd be phoning you then. I think I'd be like, I don't have space, but I'll make this space.
Bro, that is not a bad idea.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Like, because it have the battle damage. Like, it's so selfish. Like, I'm just completely thinking.
What about a motorcycle for the Terminator 2?
I was thinking about that as well.
That'd be
like, we just have these like we just have these like thoughts, but we don't know the amount of time and effort and planning and logistics and money and resources that go into actually doing it. So I do appreciate it's not that simple.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you say the RoboCop car, because that's one of the things that's come up pretty regularly. So that would be one where I would say that's a definite maybe with the support. And RoboCop is Universal, right?
Is it Universal?
I think so.
Google, I'm not sure.
So I remember somebody saying this, and they said we've never seen an actual correct to scale Ed 209 either, and that got me thinking, because if I talking to Universal for the kit license, and we're already talking about maybe adding Jurassic Park. Then if you add like RoboCop, and you could do the cop car and you can do the Ed 209 in correct scale, mind you, then you've got something to talk to.
It's Orion Pictures, but I'm not sure if there was the production company is Orion.
Yeah, but somebody said it's owned by Universal. I have to go by what they said, but if they're, let's just say it's not such a crazy left field idea. If I can include it if it's indeed owned by Universal, and I can include it in the deal I want to make with Universal, so that's what
that would be definitely incredible, bro. Because just thinking about that, they just released the RoboCop 3 figure, which I'm a RoboCop 1 and 2 fan. I'm 3 just but they did release it, and the marketing for it when they did release it kind of made more references to RoboCop 1 than they did anything else. And I thought that was actually interesting. So Shane, when you pulled that one out, that car, because pretty much a lot of people have been wanting it.
Yeah. So, I think after saying it out loud now, if a few years time, if I see that goes up, At the very least, I'll have to lose my non-refundable deposit just to keep myself honest.
Yeah,
I'll be watching your career with great interest, you know. So yeah, definitely.
definitely. We got a question from Larry Walker. Will the 22 Batmobile be released next month?
End of this October, yes. Last somewhere in the last 2 weeks of October, yes. I think we're on schedule, Larry. Larry is one of those OG long-time customers, so appreciate that. Yeah, we're on schedule. You have a bunch of pictures I sent you, I think, Lael.
Yeah. Let me actually pull that up for you really quick here, man, so we can take a look at it. Give me a second here to go in and pull that up for you. Let me see here, because I did see it. I'm going in here now. Hold on a second. 22. Here we go. Got it. It's the packaging I see here. So it's a lot that we actually see here right now. Let me actually pull this up. It's a good question. Here we go. Open that up here. Here we go. So we got the that packaging. Whoa. Yo.
That's going to be a big box. It's a wide car.
Yeah. Considering that, you know, Calvin was telling us about the Ecto 1, that box was like as big as a refrigerator. So I can only imagine. Yo.
Yeah. So that's the test print we did a couple of weeks ago. Now the official print with the UV spot lacquer and everything is in production. I think that's a video you can press play on where you can see the. Oh yeah, this is another addition that we've done. People asked if we could hide the wire from. This is at the bottom of the car, right? So if you're not using it, you can put that the wire in that little hole, covered up. Yeah,
keep it from. Okay, I think you said there's a video for it.
Well, yeah, if you go back, one of them was a video where you can see it actually produce smoke, and
let me see.
One more. This one, I think you can press play.
Yep, there you go.
Here we go. Yeah, so this is actually one of the early test samples.
Yo.
Yep.
Yo. And the sound?
Yep.
Yo.
All remote controlled.
That alone makes me regret not ordering that one.
I gotta play this one more time, bro. Look at that.
Yeah. So you got a remote control. You can control the interior lights, the front, the back lights, the smoke, and the sound all separately. You got the side lights blasting from the front of the engine. People have been asking me, okay, so if they're blasts from the front of the engine, what's the rear engine doing? I thought, that's a good one. I never thought about that, but yeah.
How does the smoke work? How does the smoke effect work?
All right, so there's a little cap that's magnetic. You can just lift off, and you can add, there's a little pipette that we will include, and you can just put in tap water, though we do suggest using demineralized water. But any water will do, including tap water. Just 3 squeezes in there, and it generates smoke from. So it's actually water vapor.
Yeah, and the demineralize, is that just to prevent corrosion or something?
Well,
like that,
prevent calcification and all that sort of thing over time.
Cool. That's very cool.
Yeah,
it's a nice addition.
Yeah. That will be in the 1989 as well.
Badass.
Are you for real? Are you for real?
Yes, sir. That same feature, smoke, lights, and sound. We have to think about what kind of sound would be cool. Maybe something with I don't know if we can get away with him saying like Joker saying, where does he get those wonderful toys or something, and just some
If you added like the soundtrack to that when you did that,
you could do just even the sound of the engine, or even the shields sounds bloody cool.
Yeah, exactly.
This right here, I know a lot of people are definitely excited about this.
Machine guns as well. Machine guns.
Of course, there's got to be machine guns in there. Of course.
Look at that.
over 350 individual parts in each car. Sanded, assembled, painted, weathered, wired, lights, you name it, right?
Wow, bro.
Wow, it looks so much bigger when someone's in the frame with it. She could get in now and drive it, man. Whoever's that.
That is a big vehicle.
Yeah.
It's the widest of the Batmobiles, and it's just as long as the 1966, but just like almost twice as wide. It's wild.
Yeah, that's a wide car. Oh shit,
bro.
Let me see if I share my screen. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
All together. Let's see. Share screen.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Here we go.
There we go. I see it.
Yeah. So here you see them side by side, and you see how it just dwarfs the BVS Batmobile, how it dwarfs the 1966 the Bat Signal. This is a big vehicle.
yeah.
That's a lot of fun in just one photo.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
Calvin, did you get the Batwing, bro?
Oh, it's ordered.
It's ordered.
It's ordered. So I'm working on it.
You see that iPhone in the screen for scale reference?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Damn. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Damn.
This is like a 500 milliliter, so half a liter of beer. A beer can right there.
Oh, I noticed that straight away.
You get thirsty, eh?
Yo, like, come on.
Yeah.
Literally, come on.
That's awesome.
That is. That's definitely awesome, bro.
I'm jealous of this collector.
Yo, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that, bro. And that's not even, like I said, with a 6 scale figure next to it at all.
Nope.
That's just the vehicle itself. You know what I mean? Like, wow.
The 1966 is really the smallest of the Batmobiles that we've made so far.
The 66?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 1999 is the same width but much longer. The 2022 is the same length but much wider. It's the BVS is just a much larger, a bit wider and a bit longer than 1989. So the only thing I don't know is, I mean, as soon as the 1989 goes into production, which is somewhere around October, November, right? Then the question becomes, what's next in the Batmobile product line? Do you have any suggestions? 1997, Arkham Knight, anyone?
Arkham
Bueller?
Knight would be insane.
Oh, man.
Arkham Knight.
Yeah, I want that Arkham. I want that Arkham piece. And actually, at one of the stores we went to, because we hit all the local stores around here, and someone had, I believe, the Prime one. I think it was the 1/10 scale. They had it on display, and they caught several of the guys' eyes.
If you do that Arkham, that
In 1/6, wouldn't that be enormous?
That's why I said no for the longest time. But there's quite a few versions, and if you look at I think it's the cruising version.
Not
I'll
the
have to
tank
see.
battle mode.
Not the tank battle mode. So yeah, there's a couple of pictures. Let me see if I can't find that to share. But yeah, so there's one that's just really ridiculous, way too big.
Yeah.
But then there's one that is doable in size. So first, let's get the version that is just way too big. That's this.
what?
Look at that. I mean,
Yo. And this is oh my God.
Look at that Ferrari F40.
Oh
Come
my
on.
God, bro. Come on.
That's
Is
2
this
cars
real?
length.
That's not a car. That's literally a tank.
That's a tank, bro.
Yeah.
It's a tank.
But I'm looking at I'm going to be looking for a picture here.
Damn.
Yeah, but there's
what would you do with that, bro? Like,
I mean, to be fair, Arkham Batman is probably like 7 feet tall in the game. To be fair.
bro, like there is no way in hell. Like,
yeah.
And remember, when it goes into battle mode, it only got wider.
Yeah, it gets wider and taller too. The turret comes out the top.
Wow.
see,
You have to keep that in the garage, like literally.
bro, keep it in the garage. You had to get a warehouse for that, bro. Like straight up, you have to rent a warehouse for that space. That is insane. Like Calvin, would you get this, Cal?
This would be too big. So that would, but I'm looking. Where's that picture? I can't find the picture, but I have a picture of another Arkham Knight version that is more doable size wise. So that's the and but you know, it's just a cool design, don't you think?
It's bad.
Yeah, it is. That's an incredible design, bro. Like it's just damn. Like that thing is huge. Like it's the spacing for that. Yeah. I don't know. Now let me ask you a question. Are you guys now, even knowing that, are you what about the 22 bat cycle? Are you still interested in, or is there going to be a talks in doing that, or are you just deviating away from that?
For me?
Yeah.
No, well, I think that's one of the things that Hot Toys is actually going to do, right? Yeah. They're going to be releasing the cycle, so we're not looking into doing that.
You're not doing that? Okay.
No. There's no need for that.
No need for it. Because that's right. Because they still haven't released their. Which again, they teased it, but I err on the side that they're not going to probably release it. Like it's probably going to be one of the ones that they're not going to touch, considering the simple fact that you guys are already doing it. I was surprised that they basically went back and released the 89, which again, you know, it's good that we basically have variations and choices now, you know, that choices in the space where you can actually go back and get some of the things that you weren't able to get before, and there's an opportunity to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So definitely that, you know, knowing that there's space for it now, it does. I mean, there's, you know, you can choose between, you know, that company, this company, but again, you know, with all the features and everything that you have with it, I was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's definitely a no-brainer to do that. But yeah, man, what else? Like, what else could? Let me ask you a question. What else are you guys like? I mean, again, you've done, you know, the 89, you've done the 22, you've done the Justice Mobile, you've done, you know, the 66 Batmobile, the 66 Bat Cycle, you've done that as well. There was even rumor like you were thinking about doing like the copter, the 66 copter. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I think with the way the 1966 projects are supported, it's a matter of time. I think after the Bat Cycle, it's most likely going to be the Bat some Bat Computer, Bat Cave parts that we're going to do for 66 and the Bat Boat first. But the Bat Copter is a possibility. The only other thing I'm looking at is the completist in me wants to do the 1997 as well.
Yo. And that's,
I mean,
yeah, the color palette for that and how sleek it looks real
good. It's pretty. I think it's
nice
the
car.
design. If you're going to get over the weirdness of it, like we did with the 1995, I think the 1997 looks cooler to me than the 1995. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
so
it definitely does. It looks incredible. You know,
so,
just the. Yeah, it does. I mean, I love the wings on it. And it's because it's always been harder for me to pull away from 89. Like it has been. it has always been a problem to pull away from 89 because, like I said, 89 just has a special place in my heart, being the biggest or the first cinematic, you know, film that we actually seen. You know, me being in high school around that time when it dropped, it was like, yo, that was incredible.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an experience, but yeah. This would, and there's a play because this was like Clooney's, wasn't it? Was it Clooney's?
Yeah. This was the Clooney Batmobile.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we get a chance to do this one as well, just to have them all lined up. 1966, 1990, 1989, then the 95, the 97, the 2022. You know, that'd be cool.
Now let me ask you a question: Have there been and this is, you know, basically more like a, you know, behind the scenes business type of thing. Have there been more companies like, you know, over here in the States that have been approaching you guys about distribution, like wanting to, you know, work with that?
Yeah, I get a request like once a month. The problem is we can't afford it, basically. I mean, the margins that retailers get on products are larger than the total margin we have to give on these products. So, yeah. No,
And so that's why it's kind of best to keep it in-house.
Yeah, that's the only reason why we can do what we do, I think, because others rely on wholesale and retail and all that sort of thing. And we do it all, from the design to the prototyping to the production to the sales to the distribution to the aftermarket service. And then you only have one company that has to make money on it instead of all these companies has to make money on it. So that's why regularly in the toy business, it's the other way around, where 20% of your money goes actually into the product you pay for, and the rest is overhead and margins, and all these different companies have to make money on it, which is fair. I mean, they all have to play their part and have to do their thing. But in this crazy new world with social media and online sales, and where we are actually able to do it all ourselves, is why we can do both the low volume that we do and exist. But that is because we do it all, and we can't afford wholesale and retail.
Got you. Which makes a lot of sense. It definitely makes a lot of sense to keep it. And I think that, how you're approaching it right now makes the most sense. And I guess to me, it just feels more exclusives. The only thing that's not exclusive is me hiding the box from Toya when it arrives, because that's just too damn big. I can't get past that. Like I definitely can't get past it. There's no hiding it.
You have problems hiding Hot Toys boxes. You're not hiding not one box coming from this man's warehouse.
No, bro, not at all. It's not. Especially when it shows up and you get that knock at the door, and then they do it. It's just like, they like most of the deliveries, like when I get Hot Toys figures, they'll just leave it at the front door, they'll knock, and then they'll just mainly leave. When it comes to a big box like that, they knock until somebody answers the door, or they'll make sure that they knock loud enough so that you actually know, and they'll sit in the truck and look. So if she answers the door, they'd be like, yep, that's his stuff, let him know, get at him. I'm like, that's so but nah, definitely, man. It's the anticipation for stuff like this is definitely there. I know everybody out there is definitely excited. I'm excited about it. Again, everybody out there, let me know in the chat what you think. If you're excited about what's going on, especially Joost. I know I am. I am super over the moon about, the product. And knowing that you are even dipping into 1/6 scale back into that. I mean, you gave us a tease with the Vulture already, when that released, and that definitely, again, top tier, to the point where I think it, really elevated, having something in such a scale more accurate, and weighted. So it definitely feels more exclusive to me, having that 89 Batmobile once that arrives. I mean, again, stories that'll be told about this, is going to be incredible. I don't have to live vicariously through Calvin anymore, because I got kind of tired of living vicariously through Calvin and his collection and his displays. I can kind of create my own in my own space for it. The only thing is, it's I was thinking about it, the length of the 89 versus, because right now I have my display with the tumbler. That 89 is way longer than that actual tumbler. It is long as hell. So it's okay, the display option for it, I already have it in mind of what I'm going to do for it. But man, just the sheer dimensions and stuff like that, it's going to be a journey, bro. It's definitely going to be a journey, but I cannot wait to have it in the play. Any questions from you guys? Any more questions before we wrap this show up, man? Anybody?
Actually, I do have one. Is with the width of the 22, is that as wide or wider than the tumbler?
The 2022 is definitely wider than the tumbler. Yeah, it's even wider. You have the Justice Mobile. I think it's even wider than the Justice Mobile, which I think is about as wide as the tumbler, maybe even more. So yeah, I think the 1989 is definitely the longest Batmobile we've made so far, and the 2022 is definitely the widest that we've ever made so far. So
Yeah, let me actually check real quick. For some reason, this chat is it's stalled. Let me go back in here really quick. I don't know what happened, but I'll fix it really quick because for some reason it I was wondering because it stopped for a second here. So let me go ahead and check and see what's going on. No, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I changed it now. It should be coming in. I should see all of it starting to come back. I don't know what happened with that.
Oh, okay.
Joost is going to have 1,400 questions to answer now. They're all going to come pinging in now.
Instant.
Yeah.
Instant comes through. Here we go. Hold on. Did it come through? Not yet. Not yet. Let me see here. Let me see here. Because I was wondering why it froze up, but I just changed it to make sure that it started to work again. So let me actually go back in and check and see. Because it was weird. It just stopped. I don't know why it switched.
Oh, here we go. We're back.
They're coming through?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Here they go. Here they go. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're starting to get those things coming in. Here we go. We're back. Definitely. Thank you guys again for sticking with us. Hello. Yeah, there we go.
Shane.
So the chat is back. We are back in the building. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, thanks for everybody's patience with us. I don't know. It just, I guess it switched for some reason in the group. I had to go back and make that change, but we're good to go now. We're good to go. So definitely, any questions out there, anybody in the chat, before we actually wrap it up, let me know what's going on. If you want to ask Joost any question, feel free. You can actually do that now. I have been falling. Wait a minute. I have been falling for 30 minutes. Definitely. Chat was down for almost 40 minutes. Got disabled. Yeah, man. It's back up, man. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. I was wondering why it wasn't coming through. We got Benjamin and Joost. Will you still consider making at least figures from the waist up in order for figures to sit? Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea with 1989 Batman as the first viable candidate, making either a sitting or a waist up kind of figure, because you got the Hot Toys 1989 Batmobile, you got our 1989 Batmobile, you got the Batwing, and you don't have to ruin his beautiful suit if you have the DX. I think it's the DX09. So yeah, that is definitely a good idea. Zach 1/6. Would you consider crowdfunding a 12-scale 1989 Batwing? If we're going to do the test for the crowdfunding with Kickstarter on the 1989 Batmobile in 1/12 scale in December. So if that's a success, then sure. The 12 scale 1989 Batwing on Kickstarter is a good idea, and doing a really accurate, detailed 1966 in 12 scale after that. I really hope that because I get 12 scale questions every week, many times a week. So it's always been a problem so far, and I've explained it before. It's a chicken and the egg situation where we really need high numbers to get to the low prices that people have been expecting in the 12 scale. So if we can do a Kickstarter and say we do a couple of thousand, which is crazy numbers for us, then that works. Then the Batwing and the 1966 are absolutely next.
Yeah, definitely. This was weird. I don't know why it happened. We got a Mark Lee's coming through with a super chat. Joost, thank you for never cutting corners. Can you talk about some of the unique challenges building the 2022 Batmobile?
Oh yeah. Well, for the 2022, I've mentioned the number of parts and over 350 parts for one vehicle, and having to do that for dozens and dozens of units. That is a crazy number, right? So you got the exposed engine, and the engine was made with struts going straight through the engine, and that was an engineering nightmare, because that meant you had to cut up the engine block and all these parts that you could normally use as a single part, like in a real car. We had to cut that up. And that's why the engine alone is over 150 parts on each car. So that's, again, crazy numbers. To make sure that all that gets assembled and fits accurately, that was a head scratcher and a recipe for a couple headaches and a couple aspirin. I could tell you that.
Shh, bro, I can only imagine. Like I could definitely only imagine like what it is that you have to deal with, when it comes to, just full, especially full production, getting everything right for full production on pieces like this, man. Like. Bro, and you're doing that, and then you're also listening to everybody as well. We got Windman 42. Yost, are you a bass player?
A little bit. I'm a guitar player, and I'm currently recording a song that. So I do my own bass and drums for that, but mainly a guitar player.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. I think you answered this question right here already from Zach.
Yeah, we did that.
We already got to that one as well. We got another one in here. Yo, so I'm going to keep asking. He said, any thoughts on doing the Black Beauty from the 66 Green Hornet?
I would say never. But based on the number of times I've gotten that request, it's just down the list from more 1966 parts for like the Bat Cave, Bat Boat, maybe even the Bat Copter. So if we can keep going long enough, I think that we'll get to that. As long as the 1966 community keeps supporting me, I think. But it's down the line. I mean, I could include it the next time we do a poll for a 1966 project, and who knows, maybe it surprises me, like that happened with the Bat Bike. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Let's see what else we got out here. Let me see here. Whose back does a collector have to rub to get the TIE Fighter cockpit? That's always a question.
That's a good question, but I think I want to do the X-Wing cockpit first after the Jedi Starfighter. I think that works as a separate piece better than the TIE Fighter cockpit for some reason. Okay. Also, if I look at the feedback that people have been giving me when I showed them the X-Wing cockpit, it's been so much more vocal support than when I showed them my design for the. I'm going to show you my design for the just the cockpit of the TIE Fighter, right?
Okay.
Let's see where it is. Yeah. So.
Let me know you're ready. I'll add it. Okay.
Yeah, so here we go. So this is a design I made for just the cockpit on a stand, right? And it just looks, I'm not seeing it.
That looks good, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I am not going to lie. That looks good. I like it. That looks damn good, bro.
Yeah, fuck. No, oh shit.
Yeah, bro, that looks damn good. I'm not gonna lie. I am not
you
gonna
made
lie.
Vader's TIE Fighter too?
Oh my god, bro, that looks damn good. I am
yeah,
not. Yeah. That. Yeah, bro. That looked damn good. That does.
But if you look at that scale compared to that figure,
was that a 6 scale figure?
Yes, that's a 6. Yes.
Bizarre.
Wow.
Bizarre, right?
Huge.
Wow. Yeah. Because that almost reminds me of like going to like some Star Wars Celebration, and they always have the TIE Fighter there, and everybody's standing under the TIE Fighter because that's how big it is, bro. Like, that would be incredible, bro. That would honestly, I think that would be incredible, bro.
Even if you did like half the wings, like the top half of the wing, and not the bottom half, I think that'd be still pretty amazing,
bro. That's nice, bro. That's nice.
So let me
bro.
see. I'll when I'm in a sharing mode, let's see if I can't find my cockpit design
for the TIE Fighter. I mean, for the
X-Wing.
The X-Wing. Oh.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh. Okay.
Right. So how do I change the sharing to a different screen? Okay. Stop. Share screen. So here we go. Are you seeing something come up?
Yeah.
Lyle?
Here we go.
Right. So, and then I've had people say, make this with the single landing gear and the ladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be dope.
With the canopy in there,
That would be incredible. And like the astromech droid right behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do the same stump thing here again.
Yeah.
Or we could make space for an actual astromech droid, but I don't know. I have an easier time visualizing this as a single unit. I mean, we'll probably have to make the nose a bit shorter. But yeah, I mean, this looks like this is just still a model compared to the TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Which of you? What do you guys think?
You mentioned you do 1/12 as well, yeah?
Well, we've tried 1/12 and it hasn't been a success so far. So
yeah,
I find that so strange. Like,
yeah, me too.
My own personal thing is like, again, everyone's collection is different, everyone's space is different, everyone's budget is different. But for me, I'm kind of going, okay, as much as this looks amazing, do I want the cockpit? Or would I be willing to settle for a 1/12 version, which is smaller, which I couldn't put a 6-scale figure in, but I could fit it in my room? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know.
I'd like to see the full picture, like a 12-scale X-Wing or a 12-scale TIE fighter. But have you ran polls on that? As in, would people prefer the cockpit of the X-Wing or TIE fighter at 1/6
No,
scale?
not yet.
Or the complete thing for a 12 scale? Because maybe other people just don't want to stray away from 6 scale. Maybe they want the entire cockpits.
Yeah. Plus, I think in 12 scale, there has been some stuff released.
I think, Hot Toys did the... it's not Star Wars. It was the Bat. If you remember,
Right.
Dark Knight Rises, they did that in 12 scale.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a major success either. So I don't know. It just... So first, it's going to be the Jedi Starfighter, but so...
This would be phenomenal, bro. I mean, honestly, for those who basically have...
That'd be...
Yeah, it would definitely be phenomenal. Honestly, in my opinion, I think both would, bro. I mean, if you having the Starfighter, having a TIE fighter, cockpit, that looks good, and then paint it all black. Oh man, come on, bro. That would be phenomenal. Something like that would definitely be phenomenal, because then you can think about something like that. Then you can think about having like the down the road, if there's a success level on that one, down the road actually having the TIE bomber, something like that would be decent. I think like there would be a gained interest in that. We do have Empire Strikes, who says I'd love to have the pilot in the cockpit. Definitely, like it again, like there's space for it, and I think people would definitely go for it, because again, we do see we got a $49 super chat. Hey man,
Wow.
Thank you so much, Derek Gibbs. Good day, fellas. Yost, absolutely love your work, and what a great time to be a collector it is. I wanted to ask about our chance for the Arkham and BTAS vehicles after the 1997, of course. Thank you for what you've done for this community. Thank you very much for that, Derek Gibbs.
Thank you. BTA has helped me here. What's that?
Batman, the animated series.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that request for the animated series quite a bit, and of course the Arkham one. We've already discussed that.
Yeah.
So for the animated series, we are adding that to the contract extension and addition for Warner Brothers for several reasons, including that vehicle. I just don't know how cool it would look if you take a cartoon and try to make that real and have it not look like a cheap toy, which is going to be quite an expensive, very cheap toy, cheap-looking toy. That's the thing I'm worried about, right? So... because there's not a lot of detail, not a lot of greeblies, not a lot of weathering on that thing. And if you made that in that scale, it would still be expensive because it's going to be extremely limited edition. So that would be my worry, basically. But we did add it, so I'm open to it. I think Arkham would be more viable. It's basically join the Facebook group, and somewhere around November or December is going to be a new poll as soon as the 1989 goes into production and we have room to start developing a new Batmobile. What's going to be next? You know what? And I could just do a poll with 3 options, do the 1997, the Arkham one, and the animated series vehicles, and see what the majority has to say.
Definitely, man. And I think, like I said, you would definitely get a response off of it, again, because of the transparency. I mean, there's a lot of people again, we wouldn't have gotten the 89 without that response, bro. As soon as, man, look, the 89, I can't stop talking about it. It's just definitely my thing. Yost, we got one from Mark Lee. Yost, I think 1/6 scale Battlestar Galactica figures from the 80s series and maybe a Viper vehicle would be a hot item amongst sci-fi collectors. There's a lot there.
So like I said, I get requests every day. Battlestar Galactica isn't that common, so I don't know if there's enough of a market for that. But somebody did say that this also belongs to Universal. So if I get talking to Universal, who knows, that might be down the road, part of the roadmap for the Universal licensing plan. I'm definitely open to it. I mean, I did watch the show when I was a kid, so yeah.
So here's the thing, because I want to go back to this earlier as well, because if you do this might still be hope for us to get a clean shaved Mario if you release that M1 Starfighter. And in all best, if you did something like that, then Mario would definitely have to shave his beard.
No, you wouldn't, man. That wasn't the deal. I'm not allowing you to throw Mario under the bus like that. That's not fair. He said the other guys wouldn't do it. I see what you're doing there. Put Mario somewhere going feeling a disturbance in the force somewhere.
Right? He's like, yo, stop playing. I'm not doing that. Nah, no, definitely. I think that. I don't know, man. Like I said, I think we're all at this point, like, just anxious and just, excited to see what's coming for the future. Like, where are you going to go with it? I mean, we already talking about the Jedi Starfighter, the possibility of, we know that kit. I know that's definitely been on your mind. Seeing that, I'm telling you, and even now, knowing that the possibility of taking that TIE fighter pilot back there and putting it in the cockpit or having something like that would be amazing, bro. Like, literally. Those designs look really good. They do.
Thanks.
They definitely looks really good. So I mean, it's definitely hope for something like that to happen, bro. And I'm definitely excited about it, and hopefully we can see it, man. For real.
Yeah.
For real. Definitely, man. Any last questions out there? Definitely for Yost. Any questions from the panel? He's a busy man. I know he got stuff to do, man, but he took time out of his day to actually come here. So I thank you so much for being with us, this afternoon, man. And just, again, that the countdown is on. And I know that you got a lot on your plate, a lot of stuff to get prepped and ready for, but I know it definitely is exciting. Somebody said a TIE Interceptor. Yeah, TIE Interceptor as well.
Let me show you this then.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, no. Hold on.
Hang on. Where's that?
I've never seen Dan smile this much.
Where's my, I just had it up here. Hang on. What's going on?
I like the dance man on his best behavior. I haven't heard an F-bomb drop yet.
Fuck you.
There we go.
Dancing at you like, yeah.
Here we go.
Let me see. What? Yo.
Again with the figure.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yo, come on, Yost. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah, but look at that. And the detail. I mean, it's just such a cool thing.
Damn. That's all I got to say is damn.
Wow. Oh, my God. Look at Empire Strikes.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yo.
Have you ever seen so much detail on the
No.
tie side?
Yo, look at that. Are you crazy?
That's what's his name?
Yo.
Baker's, no?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yo.
that's
Oh my goodness. Definitely everybody out there like, oh my goodness. Yup.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm ready, but it's just so big.
Look at I'm crying real tears right bro, you got oh my God, bro. Like, oh my God. Oh my God, bro. If you did, look at this, dang. Look at that, bro. Look at that. That's insane. Y'all saw it here first. You saw it here first. You saw it right here first. You ask and you shall receive. Like, definitely.
Yeah. I've been working on it for so long. It is. Look at that. Did you know that there were actually Lockheed pieces on a TIE fighter?
Wow.
That's pretty funny.
Bro, come on. Empire Strikes says, take my money.
Yeah.
DC Fett, damn.
Yeah. Damn.
Bro, like everybody too total insane. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're getting responses from people, bro, that are like, yo, do it.
Definitely.
They're like, yo, do, because the thing is, we've seen in, like, in the hold on, Mark Lee says, cash check charge. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we've seen in the past, like we've seen during displays that they've unveiled like full 6 scale TIE fighters and stuff like that, but just for display purposes, for figures and stuff like that. But man, could you imagine? Somebody also said, would you ever do an A-wing? Again, let's get past this stuff right now. Let's get, he got to get to this stuff right now. But yeah.
So the answer to the question that Blitz is asking, what's the theoretical length of an interceptor? That's a good question. So people think that's a smaller vehicle. It's less high. That is true. But the length of that wing, the point to the front, is longer than the other traditional TIE fighter is high. We're talking almost 5.5 feet in 6 scale. Yeah. And that is a problem. Who has like 4 feet high and 5.5 feet in length, and then 3 to 4 feet in what I think at least 4 feet in width, if you're talking about a TIE interceptor?
Yeah, bro. That's and already we're talking about space right now. That's somebody said, we got a figure posing channel. He said Ed 209 remake.
Yeah, well, I've heard that the Hot Toys version wasn't up to scratch, up to scale. So if I'm talking to if it's true that the RoboCop is now under the Universal umbrella in terms of licensing, which is a big if, then I'm thinking that's a good thing, and it's right up our alley, right? So I don't know, could be.
Definitely. Shiny says people are going to move their mothers out of their homes to make room for them. That definitely is, what is that? DC Fest says no one has space, but who effing cares? I want it. Definitely, bro. Like, you got people out there, like he said, I'm with you. So, bro, when you showed that, I think it just like perked up. Like, he was like, yo, hold on. Even Dan was like, I want that. Right? That looks good, man. But definitely, bro. Like, I'm excited. I mean, again, y'all got a chance to look into his world, to see what's going on behind the scenes, stuff that we could possibly see. But here's how it works. Become a member of the group. If you want these things, if you are interested in these things, you got to vote. You got to actually go in and ask for it. If the interest is there, that's what you need. Make sure that you actually go over and head over to the Facebook group. If you haven't already become a member, make sure you do. Ask those questions. Put it out there because, again, full transparency, always in there to answer questions. You know, always in there to take suggestions. And that's one of the reasons why we are getting the product that we're getting right now, is because those questions are being asked. The game interest is there, and that's the only way for this stuff to happen. And then also vote with your dollars. Definitely.
Yeah.
If you are
put your money where your mouth is.
Put your money where your mouth is. Vote with your dollars. And make sure that you get these pieces, because I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed, as Calvin can already let you know. One of the reasons why he's sitting there eating his dinner or his breakfast or his lunch while he's watching is because he definitely appreciates the work. I mean, the man, with that Batmobile, once it comes, I don't have to live vicariously through him anymore, because I was already jealous. But definitely I'm excited about it, man. But Thanks. Yeah, Joost, definitely, man. Thank you so much for being here and taking your time out and then answering questions from everybody out there. Also, sorry, everybody. I don't know what happened with the chat. Facebook does some weird things every now and then, but I did change it. Switch to kids mode for some reason. I switched it back to just regular adult. I don't know where that came from. They saw toys and might have just switched it on their own, but I switched it back, so it's good to go. But again, thank you guys out there for your patience. Joost, is there anything else you want to say to the people out there, just to let them know or let them know what you're into or anything?
Well, it's going to be a busy couple of months. We're going to be delivering almost all of the Batmobiles except the 95 before Christmas. So it's crazy busy. Payoff, if you're on a payment plan for the 1966, we got everything in stock. Same for the Snowspeeder. And put your money, vote with your dollars on the next projects. Just as long as you keep supporting what we're doing, we would love to keep going. So thanks to everybody who put their heart and soul into their collecting and making us a part of your collection. I really appreciate it.
Definitely. Thank you for being here. Shane, anything you got to say? Any last words, letting people know what's going on over there with you and your channel, bro?
Yeah, I'll just, as usual, here's one I prepared earlier. First of all, I just want to say thanks very much, Joost, for coming on and answering our questions. And look, if in a few months or a few years that cop car goes up from OCP, I will be voting with my You can clip and gift me if you really want in the chat. Yeah, just I'll be keeping an eye anyway, and But look, on my channel, look, I dropped my collection tour, Mark III, my third collection tour. I usually do these once a year. This is one I put a lot of effort in. I'm actually really proud of this. So, if anyone wants to check it out, it's up there live now on the channel. So, just kind of outline everything. The next thing then I've got going on is, where do I have this? All right. This video... Spoiler alert, I bloody love what I saw today from InArt, and this is going to premiere in an hour from now. Just my thoughts on that particular those images we saw. And then tomorrow night on the Hope Show, we're going to be talking about the latest news and announcements and all that kind of stuff. We definitely will be speaking about InArt again. But the main topic is we're going to talk about music that matters, the soundtracks from movies that just get us in the feels, like, you know what I mean? So I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Top Gun and Terminator 2 and all that kind of stuff. So look, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, maybe check it out. If it's your cup of tea. I need food. I'm hungry. If it's your cup of tea, give us a like and subscribe. So yeah,
definitely, man. Thank you for being here as always, bro. Definitely appreciate it, and coming over as always. Dan, what you got going on, Dan?
Still waiting on some figures to show up to review Peacemaker, and then I have Goblin on the way. But yeah, other than that, nothing much. LWO. I think we're gonna do a pre-recorded episode this week. And we're gonna premiere it on Friday, so stay tuned for that. It'll probably be on P-Rock's channel. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Once again, thanks for having me. And yeah, awesome discussion as always. Love being here with you guys. And yeah, hit that like button, people.
Definitely, man. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. Also subscribe to Dan over there at 6 Scale Reviews, Dan and Dre. Make sure my sweetheart says, Latoya T says, great stream, fellas. Thank you so much. Again, I had to be on my P's and Q's because she's watching, so I can't say I'm getting so much because, again, like I say,
Because you're getting that Pennywise, right?
I'll message you in the background, Joost, to let you know what I'm hitting, but I won't say it in front.
You were there talking about the Thai interceptor, but you forgot about the Toya interceptor. Intercepting your wallet. The force is strong with Toya.
You're right. She felt that, so she came in just to let me know she was still watching. Definitely, man. Thank you for that. But what's going on, Cal? What you got going on, bro, besides Wendy's?
Man, for real. I tell you, I felt like I've been in a frat house all weekend. But I got a casual nerd right here. I got Money Mendez right here. I got Big Firm right here. Sitting. The rest of the fellas are upstairs watching football. So it's just madness going on in the house.
Tell Money
Money
Mendez I said thank you for or possibly putting that down payment on that tie interceptor once it drops.
Oh shit! He said thanks for putting that down payment down on his tie interceptor. Oh, yeah. He said yes, I guess. Austin said to tell you what's up as well. Him and Joey collector. They just hit the road. They got the Dallas.
What's up, bro? Yeah.
I'm jealous. You look like
it's been a dope weekend. Trophy chat Monday. Check out Collecting Weekly. I'm sure they'll do a recap of the weekend. Like Dan said, I believe we're supposed to be trying to do something because several of us are all going to Disneyland on Friday. Leo's channel again Wednesday for Say What. I'm supposed to be on with Collector Joey on Thursday evening. My first time there, and then next Sunday back here. So, Yost, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate meeting you in person. Keep doing what you're doing, man. As you can see, the community loves you. We appreciate it. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
man. Thank you so much for that, Calvin. And can't wait for Wednesday because we're going to definitely have a discussion there. Thanks everybody out in the chat for being a part of this, man. Remember, if you haven't become a member of the Figure Flex Friday, the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel, make sure, and also the Figure Flex Friday Facebook group. Also want to say thank you for becoming a member, Derek Yevs, man. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Definitely do appreciate that, man, and appreciate all of you guys for basically tuning in. It's been such an incredible show. We got some highlights. We got some things we haven't seen before. Somebody also, I didn't want to forget because somebody out there was asking, if you do 1/6 scale version, give us a Wonder Woman Linda Carter. We definitely wanted to say we would love to have a Wonder Woman Linda Carter out there if we could. So definitely that would be a dope.
One more thing, let me touch on it real quick because I did hear Shane said he was jealous. Shane, we're looking to get the guys to come back to California for one of these sometime next year before the big Japan trip in 25. So we're trying to put something together.
All right. Okay. What time of the year are you thinking? Or
the tentative date right now is Star Wars weekend, May 3rd through 5th. So that's what we're kind of looking at the moment. I think it's a Friday through Sunday.
I got school, but I'm quitting my job tomorrow. I'm joking. I'm actually not quitting my job.
He's not quitting his job.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Yeah,
we'll get something together.
Thanks, man. We got SB who said, thank you, Yost. You price me out on most things, but your work is amazing. I enjoy seeing all of it in the future projects, man. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Let me see here. We got Blue Tattoo who says, thank you, Yost, Lael, and the panel. Great streams. Have a great day. Thank you so much for that. So, yeah, thank you all for being a part of such an incredible show. We're so glad to have you here. Until the next time, everybody have a nice afternoon and get those pocketbooks ready because there's going to be a storm coming, but in a good way. So excited to see y'all here. And until next week, we are out. Peace. Have a good day.